What's up, guys? Hope you're all having a great day today, and I'm sorry to say if you're a BioShock fan and you are having a good day, you might want to click off of this video because unfortunately I do come bearing bad news about the state of the BioShock games that were in development, specifically BioShock 4 and a BioShock 1 remake. So it's no secret that it's been a good while since we've gotten a entry in the BioShock franchise, with the last one being BioShock Infinite all the way back in 2013, and we really never got any details about what's coming next for the series, just that there was a fourth game in development and apparently a remake as well, which I didn't know about until this news story broke. But this is all coming from a recent report from Bloomberg, which states that the latest BioShock game being developed by Cloud Chamber failed a review with the executives at 2K Games. Now, it sounds like the main reason that BioShock 4 failed the review was because the executives weren't happy with the game's narrative. So now they're planning to revamp the story in the coming months. They're going to be changing leaders around and things like that. And I don't know, I feel like the story has to be pretty bad if the executives weren't happy with it. I mean, we've seen things like Dragon Age the Veilguard get by in this industry, so yeah, it doesn't give me a lot of faith that what they had there was going to be anything worth playing if the executives took a look at it and were like, yeah, this sucks. Now, 2K Games actually gave a statement to Bloomberg where they said that they think BioShock 4 is currently a good game, but they are committed to delivering a great one. Now, this is actually reassuring to hear because I think BioShock is one of those franchises that, you know, it's been so long since the last game, and naturally, the anticipation for the fourth installment has created very high expectations in people's minds, and I am glad to see that they are prioritizing a good story since, you know, that's kind of what BioShock is known for. But yeah, this game is another one of those examples that I talked about recently that has been in development for 6 years now, and they're still probably nowhere close to release if they're having to revamp the story this late in the game. And that's not the only BioShock project going through development struggles right now, as the report also details a remake of the original BioShock, the first game in the series, was reportedly shelved earlier this year by 2K. Now, this one's pretty interesting to me because BioShock already has a remaster collection, so this sounds like it was going to be more of a from the ground up remake of the first game, which I actually think could have been really cool. Seen some breakout success with remasters and remakes lately, particularly with games like Resident Evil or Oblivion, and I think fans really would have loved a remake of the first BioShock that had a visual upgrade and maybe some modern quality of life improvements to the controls and the gameplay. So I am curious to hear if we get any detail on what particularly about the BioShock 1 remake they didn't like or why they thought they had to shelve it. Maybe they had some market data that just said it wasn't going to sell well, which I would be shocked by, but also partially not. We've seen games like Dead Space where, you know, people online will say, oh, I love Dead Space, and then when the remake comes out, it sells like 1 million copies. But, you know, if you go by the online discourse, it sounds like everybody and their mom loves Dead Space as a franchise, but in reality, the sales don't back that up. So yeah, I'm very curious to see what the reason for that was. I don't know if we'll ever get it. But yeah, like I said, my reaction to this is a bit of a mixed bag. On the one hand, I think it's great that they recognized that the story needed improvement and that they need to shift, but on the other hand, it has been 6 years, and I don't know how much they're going to be able to change before they ultimately need to get this game out or just cancel it. And it really does kind of suck to see that the games industry is just kind of floundering with these major franchises like BioShock and Elder Scrolls and all of these other IPs that have just been dormant for so long. And when we do hear about a new entry, it's one that's either stuck in development hell or getting canceled or something else. So yeah, I will be cautiously optimistic about the new BioShock. I hope we see something from it sooner rather than later. And of course, if all else fails, there is that Judas game coming from Ken Levine, the original creator of BioShock, who's actually not involved with BioShock 4 or the canceled remake of BioShock 1. He has since gone off to do his own thing, but he's still very much working in that kind of style of game that he is known for with Judas. So it'll actually be interesting to see, you know, how these two games play off of each other if they come out around the same time and how they're received, how they sell, things like that. But yeah, I think that's really all I'm gonna have to say on the topic, guys. A little bit of a shorter video today, but just wanted to keep you in the loop about the BioShock situation if you weren't caught up. and give some of my thoughts about it as a fan of the franchise. But most importantly, I want to hear from you. Are you excited for a new BioShock game, especially with the news that they're going to be revamping the story, or are you more leaning towards Judas from Ken Levine? And would you have played a BioShock 1 remake, or do you prefer that they don't touch the originals? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and of course, if you liked the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more content, or leave a dislike if you didn't. I appreciate the feedback either way. And with all of that said, I will see you guys in the next video. Take care, guys.